Hi YouTube, this is a response to Nuclear Night's video called CR Loves Women Workers, CR being my self-conference report. Thanks very much for that response there, Nuclear Night, and welcome from England. The sun's just come out here, but it's been really grey and I'm feeling very old as a result. Anyway, just a few things. What I want to pick up, and this will seem like I'm being a bit obtuse, and I hope you don't interpret it in that way. But I really want to pick up a little bit on some of the language that's being used here, because when I did my my video, both the two videos that I've made on this topic, I'm basically using Marxist analysis, oversimplifying, I guess, really, to be honest. But that's kind of what I'm doing, and certainly in the last video I made that you're responding to, I'm talking about the key metaphors. I'm using the key metaphors that Marx used, which is this primarily the metaphor of a building, where the economy is the base. It's the basic thing. It's the first thing, and everything else follows on. And then on top of the economy, you've got superstructural elements. It's a building metaphor which runs right through Marx, and which ran right through my video. And I also, again borrowing from Marx, used a journey metaphor, the metaphor of progress, which is one of the key metaphors that underpins modernism and the 20th century generally. But that kind of Marxist view of history is history as a kind of a journey that that has key points and landmarks that we go past, predictable points that we'll go past, and a predictable goal that we'll get to. And the kind of wheel of Marxist revolution turns over this kind of land that we're marching across towards that inevitable historical endpoint. So those are the metaphors that me and Carl are kind of sharing, and I just think it's really interesting, and I have to say slightly ironic, that you change the metaphor, and it's fine you do this, and I have absolutely no problem with this. But the metaphor that you use, and which another a video of Divinity made recently, changes that to a metaphor of warfare. Your analysis talks about battles and these battles taking place on different fronts. When Divinity made hers, she was talking about the war taking place, with the feminists in one battalion and the workers in another battalion, and those people arguing for children's rights in another battalion, and so on. And you also talk about potential allies in this battle. Maybe you see me as an ally, or see other concerned men as allies. Maybe we are, maybe we're not. I don't know. Who knows? So it's all this military metaphor, which you got to admit there's a certain amount of irony there. I mean, I find the irony quite delicious, I have to say, which is I'm sure I don't need to say anymore. You're substituting what are essentially what I think are relatively benign building and progress metaphors with what I think are relatively malignant and prototypically male metaphors of military conquest. Anyhow, as long as we know we're doing it, it's fine. I really don't have an issue with that at all. We use the language that we use in order to arrive at the kinds of thoughts that we need to arrive at. So I'm absolutely fine using the military battle metaphor. It's fine. Although I do have some problems with it. And the problems with it, which again appeared both in your video and in Divinity's video, was it just kind of falls out of the understanding of this stuff as a battle. When you have a battle, you have one side ranged against another side. That's kind of how the traditional battles have been fought, at least up until very recently. And that's not the case in this battle that we're involved in, if we are involved in the battle. Yes, there will be times where we're on the same side, and I'm talking collectively here rather than individually. There will be times when some men will be on the same side as some women, but there'll be the times when we're not. And I think to simplify it, to say that we're all engaged in the same battle is just incorrect. Personally, I know many men who, if the economic battle was sorted out, would not immediately rush to back up the women fighting on a different front. No, what they would do is they would move into the Playboy Mansion. That's what they would do. And conversely, I know women who, if they had the opportunity to find a way to gain power and resist patriarchy, or however you want to describe that, would not immediately rush to the defence of the workers, but would do essentially what Margaret Thatcher did as UK Prime Minister, and destroy the unions, for example, or just go on Dragon's Den and wave your dick around like the rest of the stupid bosses on there. So there's, I don't think we can. I don't think it's always helpful to simplify the battle into we're all on the same side, because we ain't. We're just not. And that recognition falls out of the metaphor that you're using of this battle. I think we need to find a better one. What else? Yeah, I have to say that in one place in your video then you do contradict yourself. It doesn't matter, I have no problem with contradiction, I enjoy it. But you do say at one point, I just wrote this down so I'm quoting on, you say that you can't liberate women from abuse and exploitation, something like that, in a capitalist society. That's not possible. I mean, what you're saying there is you're going back to what you said was not the case, which is about primacy. If you can't liberate women until capitalist society is dismantled, then you have to dismantle capitalist society first. In other words, you have to give the economic revolution primacy. That's what I'm taking from what you've said there. Which maybe I'm not arguing that myself. Maybe it's the case, maybe it's not. I just don't. We can't simultaneously hold both. Oh, I don't know. I think you know what I'm saying there. Really, I'm just splitting hairs foolishly, taking noise. Okay, I think that's all I've got to say, really. This is coming off a bit antagonistic. I didn't mean to come off antagonistic at all. I really enjoyed your video. Just one last thing, actually. And I thought it was, when I was thinking about this in the car driving down this morning, I thought it was you. Clearly it wasn't, because I've just watched the video again. I thought it was you who had asked me if I was a feminist. Somebody did. It might have been Jedi Master Boo Boo in the comments, or maybe it was somebody completely different. Who knows? Maybe I dreamt it. And I've been thinking about that. I would have to say no right now. But I do need to qualify that. I do need to qualify it. And the qualification is really important. There's something about, and this is going to sound really stupid, I hope it doesn't sound too stupid, because I'm trying to be smart on YouTube, you know what I mean? I'm trying to be a smart YouTuber. Oh, never mind. It's something about words that end in IST I have a bit of a problem with. I do call myself an atheist, and I made a video about atheism and my atheism recently. But to say you're an atheist means you're not a theist, yes? So you're not accepting the IST designation. So and when I'm talking about atheism, I am an atheist, which means I do not accept the propositions, the unfounded propositions that theism claims. I'm attesting to my unwillingness to accept certain propositions. If I was to say as a feminist, it's not the same thing as saying as an atheist. I would say I'd have to accept certain propositions. And I might not, I don't know. I guess I would be more comfortable if I could find a term that was the equivalent of atheist, or was doing something like atheist, and was allowing me to deny certain propositions. Like I can say anti-racist, or like I can say anti-fascist. I can say those things because they deny certain propositions. If there was one like that for feminism, I'd probably sign up for it immediately. Actually, there is something similar to that, which led me to an interesting discovery I made, actually, which is I noticed in the kind of what's related box on some of these videos of yours, this thing, feministing, it's a channel. I know you know it better than I do. I've just found it, so I've got no idea. Which I couldn't help reading as fisting. I just kept reading it as fisting, and then I realised it was an anagram of I men fisting, or I fisting men. So I can't tell you where that took me, but feministing. I thought that was quite an interesting word, because it turns it into a verb. It's something you do rather than something you are. So I quite like the idea of spending some of my life feministing, or doing some activities which are feministing activities. I like the idea of that, because as I say, it becomes an activity rather than a designation. But the other thing about feministing is the feministing website, feministing.com, which I'll just bring up quickly because I've only got 5 seconds left. feministing.com, which has got great stuff on it. The image I'm looking at right now, two things about it. Firstly, it's got an image of Linda Montano and Tai Ching Se, two of my favourite artists, and Tai Ching Se was down here a few weeks ago. I met him actually not long ago. But right above that, it's an advert which says, "How I lost 5.4 stone in 15 weeks, the weight loss story taking the UK by storm." And if you follow that, it's an advert for a scam, a complete fucking scam, for products that don't work, Cho Young tea and colon cleansers, sold as free trials and which do compulsory follow-ups. So you end up spending huge amounts of fucking cash. Big scam. So, yeah, feministing, very interesting. Thanks very much for that.